Hey, Busy Bees. Today we are back with another chapter in our My Weird School series, Book 6, Mr. Hynde is Out of His Mind by Dan Gutman. But before we get into our chapter of the day, we're going to get into our riddle of the day. And the riddle of the day is, how should you satisfy your sweet tooth when it's way after bedtime? And I'll say it again. How should you satisfy your sweet tooth when it's way after bedtime? And I'll give you the answer to your riddle at the end of our chapter. So let's pop open the book and fly through this adventure together. So yesterday we read and talked about chapter 1, which was our introduction chapter, and how the music teacher, Mr. Loring, is very boring and snoring. So let's get into chapter 2, Goody Two-Shoes Andrea. Miss Daisy let Andrea, the little brown noser, be the line leader when we walked down the hall to the music room. Her little crybaby friend Emily was the door holder. I walked with my pals Ryan and Michael. We had just turned the corner outside our classroom when I saw the most horrible thing in the history of the world. It was a sign on the wall by the office. Next week is TV turn-off week. Don't forget to turn off your TV. Oh no, Ryan groaned. Say it's not true. I'll die without TV, said Michael. TV turn-off week is the worst week of the year. It's the worst week in the history of the world, I said. What are we going to do all week without TV? Asked Ryan. I might go crazy, said Michael. It was even worse than we thought. The sign said that TV turn-off week had been such a success last year that they decided to make it TV turn-off month this year. 4 whole weeks with no TV. Guys, this is the end of the world as we know it, I said. Oh, you boys are silly, Andrea said. TV is for silly dumbheads anyway. I never watch TV. I'd rather spend my time singing or playing a musical instrument. Andrea takes violin lessons and piano lessons and dancing lessons and singing lessons and just about every other kind of dumb lessons they have. If they give lessons in anything, Andrea takes them. If they give lessons on how to take lessons, Andrea would probably take them. My mother told me that music cleans the soul. She said as we walked past the art room. Maybe you should try taking a bath, I said. Ryan and Michael laughed at my funny joke. AJ, you wouldn't be so mean if you tried singing instead of sitting around watching TV all the time, Andrea said. I love to sing all the songs from Annie. That's my favorite movie. Ugh. Then Andrea started singing that song about the sun coming out tomorrow. It was horrible. The police should use Andrea's singing to punish criminals in jail. Can you sing solo? I asked Andrea when she finally stopped. Sure I can, she said. Then why don't you sing so low we can't hear you? Ryan and Michael cracked up at my funny joke. They are true friends. You're mean, Andrea said. Please hold your tongue, AJ, said Miss Daisy. Then she told me to be quiet because she knew that I was going to stick my tongue out and hold it. Finally, we got to the music room. Mr. Loring wasn't there yet, so Miss Daisy told us to sit on the rug. Last year, my first grade teacher told us to sit Indian style, but she got in trouble because some Indian people didn't like it. So she told us to sit like pretzels instead. Miss Daisy doesn't tell us to sit like Indians or like pretzels. She just says crisscross applesauce, which doesn't mean anything at all. I sat in the second row next to Ryan and Michael. Andrea and Emily sat in the front row, of course. Miss Daisy said we could talk quietly until Mr. Loring arrived. Remember when Mr. Loring had us sing Jingle Bells? Michael asked. Yeah. What's a bobtail? Michael asked. You sing bells on a bobtail ring, but I never knew what a bobtail was. Beats me, said Ryan. I think a bobtail is a kind of car, I guess. Nobody names a car bobtail, said Michael. Bob backward is still Bob, Ryan said. And tuna backward is a nut. Tuba backward is a butt, I said. I used to have a fish named Fred, said Ryan. What does that have to do with bobtails? Asked Michael. Nothing, Ryan said. I was just thinking about Fred. Suddenly, that goody two-shoes Andrea turned around. You boys are dumbheads, she said. A bobtail is a little furry animal with a short tail. Everybody knows that. She was probably right, but I don't like Andrea Young telling me anything. She started singing Jingle Bells. Who asked you? I interrupted. You don't know anything about music. Do too, Andrea said, all mad. I've been playing the piano ever since I was 4 years old. Don't you get tired? I asked. I thought that was a pretty funny joke, but nobody laughed. Can't win 'em all. I can even play Beethoven's sonata, Andrea bragged, all proud of herself. You play with Beethoven's snot? I said. That's disgusting. Andrea got all huffy and turned back around. Why doesn't a piano fall on her head? Boy, Mr. Loring is really late, Michael said. Maybe he died of old age, said Ryan. I think we're going to die of old age waiting for him, I said. Maybe he bored himself to death, said Michael. You boys are mean, said that crybaby Emily. Mr. Loring is nice. She looked like she was going to cry. What a baby. My mom says that all you have to do to get some people upset is to look at them sideways. I tried looking at Emily sideways, but she didn't even notice. Miss Daisy told us she was going to the office to see what happened to Mr. Loring. She told us to be on our best behavior while she was gone. So as soon as she left the room, me and Michael and Ryan got up and shook our butts at the class. Most of the kids laughed. That's when the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. And that is the end of our chapter for the day. So this book was basically them waiting for Mr. Loring. I wonder what happened to Mr. Loring, right? And I'm thinking, where does Mr. Hynde come into play? Because that is the title of our book. I wonder if we are going to find out tomorrow. So now that we are done with our chapter of the day, we are going to get into our riddle of the day. And the riddle of the day was, how should you satisfy your sweet tooth when it's way after bedtime? And the answer is, drumroll please, eat chocolate. Do you get it? Eat chocolate. Chocolate, but it's chocolate because it's late after bedtime. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you'd like to follow along for more adventures, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you on the next one.